Welcome back to Medrash Umaisa, sharing a story for this week's Parsha, Parshas Pinchas. The story we're going to tell today was brought down by Rav Ben Tzion Abba Shaul Zatzal, and he saw it in a sefer from a Rav named Rav Ben Tzion Lopez Zatzal. It's important to get a little background about the Lopez family. The Lopez family was a dynasty of Rabbonim from generations back in Aleppo, Aram Tzova, or Chalab as it was known, in Syria. Rabbonim from the family ended up serving communities in places as far as Brazil, and certainly came here to Eretz Yisrael. Rav Shalom Lopez, who was the Rav of Akko and the father-in-law of Rav Bakshi Doron Zatzal, the chief rabbi, was very well known. Anyway, the Lopez Rabbonim, due to the community that they were in, a community of businessmen, knew many wealthy and influential individuals. Rav Ben Tzion Lopez told the story about one of them. The man was the manager of a bank, and he was a traditional Jew, but after some time of introspection decided that he really wanted to live day to day according to halacha. The day he made that decision, he got up and he davened shacharis. When he ate breakfast, he made brachos before and he made brachos after, and then he went off to start his day in the bank. Now, banks in those days didn't have as many security dividers as we have nowadays. The bank manager sat in the middle of the bank at a big desk on a big chair so that he could see everything that was going on and everyone could see him. When he sat down at his desk, one of the employees did, as he did every day, brought him a cup of coffee and some cake. He was now in a dilemma because he wanted to keep halacha, but he was not wearing a kippah. And he didn't want to make the bracha without wearing a kippah, but he felt that he just couldn't put on a kippah. He was afraid of the reaction of the employees, of the customers. Look who's declaring himself now to be some big rabbi, to be some big tzaddik. Who are you? What are you? And he was torn about what to do. As he's thinking about this, a very important customer came in, a wealthy man. Now, it's important to know how deposits were made in those days. We barely see paper currency anymore, but in those days, a large deposit would be made in the form of gold coins. Sometimes they were called gold Napoleons, and this man brought in a bag with many gold coins in it. As he was approaching the desk of the official who was supposed to take care of this, the bag burst, and gold coins went rolling all over the floor of the bank. He immediately told an employee to lock the doors of the bank, and then everybody got on their hands and knees and were running around on the floor trying to chase the coins, find the little nooks and crannies and corners where they came. The wealthy man himself, despite the fact that he was wearing very beautiful, expensive clothes, was down in the dust on his hands and knees, simultaneously trying to pick up coins and to keep his eyes open to make sure that nobody else was pocketing one of his coins. Eventually, the coins were gathered and the deposit was made. But now, said Rav Lopez, the man had his answer. He realized that when something is valuable to you, when something is that important, suddenly the shame that you're afraid of isn't something that bothers you anymore. He put on a kippah and made a bracha. There was some amazement among the employees for a while. He said in a couple days, it became matter of fact and nobody mentioned anything about it. In our Parsha, Parshas Pinchas, again, there are many deep things in the act that he did, and in the fact that Chazal say that the Hayu Hashvatim Mevazin also. He was a victim of shaming. They even brought up the fact that he descended from Yisro, who originally was an Oved Avodah Zarah, an idolater. If a person is facing the dilemma of doing what's right and having to suffer shame, or if a person is unfortunately a victim of shaming for doing what's right, what you have to do, said Rav Ben Tzion, is to remember the value, the gold that you're working with. And then the fear of shame disappears and you're able to have a sense of pride and joy. Wishing us the ability to be strong for what's right and to be able to bring admiration to those around us so that they won't be guilty of shaming either. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu provide us with a peaceful Shabbos, us and all of Am Yisrael. Wishing you a very good Shabbos and a good week. Kol Tov.